excited today? They just moved it down.
Because they'll sit over there in that chair, they don't have a sign on it.
Which one?
Oh, they're probably more comfortable than this. I wasn't seeing the You know, it's really, this is part of a public hearing, it needs to continue as a public hearing. I'll be surprised. They created a parking
Oh,
lot.
Still got that dog. He did good. I mean, I haven't seen any aggression out of him or anything. Come in, get out there soon. I'm still not sure what a CP is. Yeah. No, we're not gonna go back to that.
Trying to back up so
Okay.
so it's breathing.
You got the frame. I'm illegally parked here, so.
You're good.
This chair's a lot easier than that one. I've tried to move that one before.
I don't see Jack yet.
Hey, do you still go to the? They trying to combine GLP group with outpatient.
Okay, we'll ask that you turn your cell phones off quiet or vibrate or something, so we'll have that interruption. So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, the November 16th meeting. Will you stand with it for the prayer and pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting? September the 21st, 2021? I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from September 21st, 2021. Do I have a second? All in favor? Minutes from October the 19th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from October 19th, 2021.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Anyone opposed?
And y'all still need
Approval of agenda or motion to amend the agenda. I need a motion to amend. Jim Robinson needs to be added in number 6. He actually wasn't employed before, but he's come back and he's helping us a few hours. I think he's got like 8 hours into the last 2 months, so we'll add him at that point. And number 1, Rodman Scott Kiper and Wellington Ford, those folks are about 45 minutes out. Does that sound right?
Probably more like 15 minutes.
Okay,
maybe somewhere in
so
that
we're
line.
going to move them from number 1 to the past number 9, so it would be the 10th space there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve those 2 changes?
I'll make a motion, we approve those 2 changes.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Okay, monthly downtown development authority update.
Good evening. Couple of things with DDA. First and foremost, not the last city council meeting, but 2 city council meetings back, I forwarded a request to have the bylaws amended to take out the restriction on more than 2 years as chairman of the DDA. I've done 2 years now as chairman of the DDA. One of those years was a blank basically because of the pandemic. But with the newness of the board members right now, we had discussions and there was nobody on the current board who wants to be chairman going forward. So that leaves 2 options. One option is to change the bylaws, to take those out, so that I can continue as being chairman, or leave it as it is, and basically the council will have to choose a new chairman come January. All of the current members don't want to do it. The change to the bylaws was voted on at the last DDA meeting and passed unanimously. So basically, it's now needs to be approved by the council, or you guys have to pick on January.
Okay. And I think they tabled that the last time, am I correct?
Yeah, Nathan.
Okay, so we can add that in our December meeting. We have a December 6th public hearing that we'll have a meeting after, so we'll do it.
You can do that.
So Kelly, will you make sure that gets added?
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you for the
second-
reminder.
Second item on DDA is there's a person who would like to be a director on the DDA. Her name is Karen Stevens. I don't know if anybody here knows Karen. She is a realtor. I know Rhonda knows her if you want to say something about it.
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah, she's here
there she
too.
is. Okay,
She
good.
is here. And I've spoken with her. She does want to be involved in the community. She has a teenage daughter whose son is, she wants to be involved now. You know, the son's getting older, and so she wants to be involved in the community. And I've told her this would be a great way to start getting involved. And how long have you lived in town now?
At this house, a year, and then 2012 to 2014.
So
So
she's been,
now, I guess almost, well, it took a year to build, so 2 years.
so she's
But
been
I'm
here
always
a
up
while.
here, I'm here every day.
Yeah. And obviously very engaged in what's going on with the conversations that we've had, so I would definitely recommend her.
And she is willing to take on parking, so there you go.
Bless your heart.
Uh-oh.
So if, I don't know, do you guys vote now or do you have to wait till December to vote? To have it?
Did she fill out an application with you by any chance?
No, she hadn't yet.
I didn't
wanna
fill out
do
a
that?
Not on paper.
Yeah, if you want to do that and get it to Kelly
Okay.
before the next meeting, and then we can vote on it.
Okay, that's it for
Let
DDA.
me ask, is it through real estate or through her location of her home that she qualifies?
It should be through both, but my home is literally where Laura Green's house was.
Yeah, it's a DDA, to be on the
Yeah,
DDA, you just have
that's
to
not
be,
CBD, but if she works in real estate, then,
I'm a broker.
you can just live in Woodbridge.
She lives,
oh, I just thought she had to live in the CBD area. Okay,
Not according to the bylaws.
okay.
Any other questions regarding DDA? No? Okay. For Business Association, I just want to show you, if you haven't seen them yet, these are the You Are Here maps that are up. If you haven't seen them, they're all updated, so these locations around town right now are completely updated for anybody who wants to know where anything is in downtown. And if you notice, they've all been given new folders. So if you haven't seen them, go out there. Also, Light Up Blue Ridge is basically next weekend, so weekend after this. So there's a lot of stuff going on. From elementary school Christmas trees on the boardwalk to food vendors and people singing and fall along, around the city. So hope you all get out there for Light Up and see it. Any questions on Business Association?
Did you see the article just recently, Blue Ridge was number 2 in places to visit for Christmas?
Oh, really?
New article from WSB.
No, I didn't see it.
shared it to me.
Larry Thomas shared it with me the other night.
So somebody saw it on TV, that there was an article about it.
Yeah, we're back to, I guess, full participation for light up. There will be a parade at night, so that'll be fun again, everybody's going to enjoy that. And then we'll have the lighting of the Christmas trees Saturday at 7.
And I think we've been in the top 10 for the last several years, but how did Helen beat us out on #1 spot?
I don't know, I haven't been to Helen in probably 10 years, so.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Thank
Anything
you.
else, guys? No? All right.
Thank you. Okay, engineering procurement. You have a copy. They went through the selection process, and Carter Sloop is the one they've recommended.
So was this recommendation also based upon what the rate was that was being charged?
Who did these, Jeff and Becky?
Because it says now that the city will negotiate an agreement with them, so was that not taken into consideration to begin with?
You can't do rates on request for
Yes, well,
quality.
she's just saying yes, so let me hear from her.
Yes, it's gonna be the same.
That's what it is
The
now.
rate's gonna stay the same as what we've been paying Carter and Sloop, so I'll just go ahead and let everybody know.
So let me ask you, Becky, in an RFQ, you can ask for the rates?
Yeah, you can, and if you need me to confirm that in writing, we can do that.
Yeah.
So with
So
them,
they all
basically
set
would
their
be
rates
no
back
change.
in, all of those firms set their rate with it?
Not all of them did.
Yeah, because they usually don't do rates with
Well, and
qualifications.
the reason I say that is because we sent out 7 packets when we did our RFQ. We had requests for 7 packets, and Carter and Sloop's the only one that returned.
Okay,
So we didn't actually have any other packets returned.
so there's usually an RFQ and then an RFP.
And all that was done electronically, so there's record of all those being sent out to those other
So it wasn't
engineers.
based on price of bid or anything like
Carter and
She says the
Sloop,
only
yeah,
ones that
Carter and
responded.
Sloop's the only one that returned, but their rate is staying the same.
It seems odd though, that we only got one response. But
Well, you have to look at development and building, and so it takes a lot of time to put a proposal together. A lot of people don't look at the timeline. So what you do is you put it on the Georgia Procurement website, and everybody that sees it, you
Has the
know, that
option
wants
to
to
go.
do, has an option to request your packet, and then they go to the packet and see if they want to submit. So they may not have liked coming to Blue Ridge, we made them too far away, or could be any number of things, but that's the only one we got back.
So will you forward us all a copy of the qualifications that they sent back, just so we have it?
I sure will. You guys want that before? I would just encourage you not to table, because we have some grant applications in the works that you have to have engineering procurement secured.
And they've been
when they have our
working-
current ones, and so they would have to finish those up. I mean, how would that work anyway?
There's
So
still-
this is the new application for the mountaintops.
Oh, for the, yeah.
But you're not gonna see that money before our next meeting anyway, so.
No, but you have the application, you have to have it before the application.
But they still are actually our engineers at this point till through the end of this year, so I think that if we vote on December the 6th, you'll still be fine.
No, Matt said we needed to do it. He said because they want to see that in that packet that we've secured them for that grant money for next year.
But we sent it with them in that packet,
Well,
because they were already our engineers.
Well, I don't
Right,
have,
but
I
they're
don't
not our
have a problem
engineers for
voting on
next
them
year.
So I'm
tonight.
fine.
I'm fine voting on them because
I started saying, you can
They
take
did a
it, but we
great
didn't have
job.
anybody else send anything back, so.
Well, anybody else to vote
And I
on,
don't
we
know
did
if
have
there's a
somebody.
motion.
I mean, is
Do we have a
anybody
motion?
unhappy with
Yeah.
this Carter and Sloop?
No.
No, my question was just like the rates was the main
It's
thing, you know?
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah, they did a
motion?
great job. So I make a motion that we enter into a contract for engineering procurement with Carter and Sloop for 2022 through 2023.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed?
You want to do a roll call vote?
Well, I was trying to watch hands, but some of you aren't getting your hands up, so. Okay, Red 3 Solutions, the septic tank dumping rate, which, thank goodness, they're finally here and operating, is all I can say. So $6.25 per 1,000 gallons for retreating the septic.
Yes.
And they're
$6.25 per thousand to dump into our sewer system, and that is pre-treated septic. So basically what they're dumping in there is equivalent to stormwater. It will go through the mechanical functions of the plant, but because it's pre-treated, it doesn't require the chemicals that normal sewer or septic will require. It also doesn't put any stress or have any impact on our belt press because there are no solids released into the sewer. So that rate is approximately 75% of the normal rate, just because the load on the plant is going to be less. And that does allow us for price fluctuations of different things. There's a 10% contingency built into that rate to cover the city so that we don't end up on the losing end of that, but that is a service to the community. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with septic, but they've been really struggling with places to take their septic. LJ stopped taking it. Chatsworth takes it intermittently.
It's a national park.
And, I mean, that's, my understanding from the septic haulers is if you have your septic tank pumped regularly, you're not getting that done now because they can only, yep, it's on. They can only pump if you have a problem because they didn't have anywhere to take it.
So I had a question, when you and I were up at the sewer plant, that never talked about this, because it's the main piece of machinery up there that we've been concerned about because
Yes.
it's so expensive and getting parts for it, it's obsolete.
That is correct.
So I thought we had said that, when we were concerned about this happening, that we were concerned about the belt press. I thought it did have to go to the belt press. Did something change that it didn't have to now?
Yeah, so Red 3 Solutions has a pre-treatment system, and they're actually pre-treating it and taking all the solids out. So
It really takes the rest of the city out, because that was our main concern, because that machinery was what, $2 million for just that belt press or something?
yes,
Yeah, so, okay, that's great.
yeah, for the new
It doesn't
installation.
keep us from needing a belt press though.
No, it still needs it, it's gotta be upgraded, and it's gotta be changed with the new
Right.
overhaul of the sewer
But
plant,
doing
at
this
least that.
prior to that
Yeah.
upgrade doesn't put any extra stress on that belt press, because they're essentially removing all the solids. And so they partnered with Shamrock, and they're doing this on the Shamrock property. So,
Your microphone. You can hear it. It's okay. Okay, she should get it. Okay.
so it's actually a great help to the community, and we're glad to not have to be taking septic without it being pre-treated into our system, because that was really hard on our plant and causing some issues, but we were just trying to help everybody out.
Could have been a big financial issue had we overstressed that belt press.
We could only take a limited amount from them, which was hard on them, trying to find somewhere else to take it, the local haulers, so this is a great thing.
Becky, let me ask you a question. I know that the chemicals and everything that we're treating with, does this impact the bugs at all? Because I know if you lose your bugs, you've got problems.
No,
It
and
should
James
not
says
be
the
chemicals.
untreated septic was causing issues with the bugs at the plant. The pre-treated is just like getting stormwater. And he said essentially it's gonna be a help to this plant instead of a hindrance.
It won't cause the foaming issue either. so
No,
it should be
no,
fine.
we'll be done with the foaming issue.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the septic dumping rate for our Red 3?
I'll make a motion that we approve the R3, Solutions septic receiving.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Is this the only we got?
That is the only one. Not a lot of people know this process. That is the only person we have used. Okay, so everybody voted. Everybody, I didn't get a hand show
All
of
in
hands.
favor?
Okay, so we have a first.
I do have a quick question too. So if we decide we want to, if this is causing issues, my biggest problem is it might have smells. You know, there could be a odor, which will be fine if it doesn't. But if we want to terminate this, is that part of this contract, or part of this agreement?
I don't think there's a
That is
contract.
red for
Or just
us.
an agreement that we can terminate the service with them?
I don't think you could at any time, because there's no terms.
I think you could, but I think that the problem
Without.
is, they could just take it to another septic off, I mean, they could take LJ or Larry or something
Yeah,
else.
so it's just like any other water customer or sewer customer, basically, they're gonna have a meter just like you guys do for your own businesses or
But
whatever.
as I was
Can
saying,
that
like,
terminate though? Is that, I guess the question is,
They could, just like if you wanted to, so there's no actual contract
yeah.
other than the same thing you guys signed
Well,
up for when you
I
signed
guess
up for
my
your
question
water
is,
service.
can we terminate with them? Because if this causes an issue in the downtown area with the horrible smell, that could be a huge problem.
Well, we do have the right to terminate if it causes issues at the plant.
Okay. Because I would like it to be based on if we have any other issues, not
just
just.
issues, period?
But my question is,
Yeah.
did we, I mean, this one for bid, or did we send it out with the whole group of?
Well, there's no,
I guess
mean, we're not funding this. It's
They're a
not-
customer,
not like-
essentially.
They're a customer like you signing up for.
I guess
water.
what Mike's
Yeah.
asking too is, are other people going to be eligible for this since
To
we
also do the
offer
same
it?
thing, other companies.
And are we gonna have a lot of people wanting to use our
Here,
service?
so I can be real clear. So, that way everybody
You're
hears me.
asking, yeah.
So I want to be real clear in that this is like anybody else signing up for a public utility service. But pre-treated septic was not something we had a rate for. So all we're doing right now is approving what we're charging them. And they're just like any other customer who signs up. And so James has a sewer ordinance that protects anything that goes into the sewer, that he can say, it's not meeting regulations, it's having this impact on my plan, and we can stop it for that reason. But what you're asking about is if it causes a smell downtown. They're partnered with Shamrock. They're sitting right there where Shamrock's offloading septic trucks. They're not leasing property from the city. The only other avenue you would have with them would be through their business license with Chris.
I would just hate to get into a contract with them and that's not, or allow them
We're
to
approving the
use-
rate though, we're not essentially approving a contract because they're a
Right,
customer.
you're just
Yeah.
approving the
But we
rate.
can't just, see, my thing with that is you can't just disconnect the customer service, can we just disconnect?
She's
There's-
saying that
if
there
we
being a
decide-
service
if
is
we
an
decide-
obligation the city has to continue.
If we decide if there is an issue with smell, if there's an issue that's negatively affecting our community,
That would be something we could see if we could work out with Carlos, with Rev 3. He's the one that we've been working with. Now Jeff has visited the station in Peachtree City, and I started to say it would be because the denial of public utilities has to come through, you don't have the capacity.
yeah.
So, you know what, why don't we rescind that motion and let,
Yeah,
maybe
let's
you should
research,
get legal
let's
advice on it,
research
and
this.
then, would that affect anything that's gonna happen in the next month?
It's gonna affect your septic haulers, they're struggling. I mean,
Well,
you could approve the rate
Can we
for a
approve for
month.
30 days?
If you could do a 30-day approval,
Yeah, and then you
approval till
can-
the next meeting.
based
But
upon
no.
the.
Yeah, I think that makes some
I would,
sense.
Jeff has been to the Peachtree station, they have no smell issues.
Well, I would just hate for it to
Yeah.
happen and us be stuck feeling like that.
I would definitely check and see what my legal rights were
Yeah,
on
I
that,
think it's
since
a
they're
good
not
idea.
leasing
Yeah.
property
Sure.
from us, and it's not a station we own, so it's not anything we put out for bid, because we don't put,
Yeah.
like, if we give you water or sewer service,
Yeah,
we don't put that out
And,
for
but
bid.
we also can't just don't go disconnect someone's service, and that would be the same.
No.
Right,
issue.
and that is
Yeah.
the same
It's
issue.
our obligation once we start that. with
And
them.
denying it goes to the same thing
Yeah.
too. I can't
Yeah.
deny you service if I have the ability
I
to.
think that would be the issue, is
Yeah.
not being able to deny somebody public services, so,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think you're gonna run into that.
Yeah,
So
so
let's
let's
just
just
check
check
on
on, how are you metering this?
With a normal meter. Well, it's not the same meter like we use, it's a chrome meter. And it's similar to the types of meters that James uses at the wastewater plant. They're really expensive meters, but Rev 3 funded that meter and they've ordered a meter. Their station basically is, they keep this stuff in stock because they're building these pre-treatment stations in other places. So they order that meter and they bring it in themselves. And James has looked at the meter specs and he's approved that. So, for everybody that don't know, James is our
James is the,
wastewater superintendent.
I was fixing to
Yeah.
clarify
So
that.
not the attorney James, but our wastewater superintendent, James Weaver, has approved the meter specs. And their meters that are used in wastewater treatment plants all over the United States.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the
No, I'm
floor.
actually gonna, I wanna amend the motion, I actually wanna amend it to just be for the next 30 days.
I don't know that you can amend the motion with that. I think
Well, I
you
can
have to
rescind
go-
it, and I can make a new one.
Did you make the motion
I
originally?
did, just a minute ago.
Then I think I would rescind my motion.
Okay, I want to rescind the motion that was just stated for us approving it in general, and I want to make a motion that we approve Rev 3 Solutions Septic Receiving for the next 30 days, and then at the next council meeting, we can decide whether or not we're going to approve it long-term or with conditions.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? That's unanimous. ARPA and premium pay. The American Rescue Plan Act, the county, and several counties around us and cities have actually decided to use some of their ARPA funds to give some money to the employees. I think the county did $3,000 for any full-time employee and $500 for any part-time employee. If we follow that with 41 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees, that's $133,486. I think about every surrounding city is doing that, or county. So I just didn't know if we have an interest in doing that. We have $145,582 of our remaining ARPA funds at this point. Do we have an interest in doing that?
Yeah, I think we do have through 2023 also to stand that and identify. I hadn't gotten any information on this until I came in yesterday, and this is the first I really had a chance to talk about it with you guys. So, yeah, I know Gilmer County, what they did, they took out they got $3,000, but they also took out taxes for that. Fannin County,
That would be taken out taxes.
yeah, Fannin County gave $3,000, but they
Added taxes.
added to it, yes.
That's what we were following, the same thing, Fannin County.
And I guess I would have to look at our budget too and say, should we maybe look at giving less with our budget and looking at other needs that we have?
I think that's probably smart.
Well, the funds are already there.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's not the budgeted funds for next year.
yeah, I'm just thinking, what are our,
$582.
we put 300,000, well, we put 400,000 towards, new water lines.
Well, 300,000 Mineral Springs for a seal line,
Yeah.
and then